I think I'm... Okay, hello. Sorry. So, Kris, welcome to Anime Club. My name's Phoebe, and this over here is Mr. Christopher.
All right.
And the reason you will see me giggling at the beginning of every episode is just before Kris hits record. Each time he says something truly outrageous. And it always catches me by surprise, and it's always very, very funny. So welcome to Anime Club. This week we are reviewing. I've been terrified to say this. We're reviewing Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
Eddie likes it.
Anime. Eddie's all about it. So unprofessional, Eddie. So, Kris, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
Yes. Yeah.
How would you describe... Now, I'm curious as to how you would describe this, because I think I might describe it differently to how you would describe it if you were selling it to someone.
Well, I don't think I would sell it to someone.
Okay, all right. Already we're off to a spicy start. Okay. What did you think? Let's start there then.
Right, well, I feel bad because this was genuinely recommended to us by someone in the comments.
Yeah.
As something that he thinks really good enough to recommend to their friends. So I don't want to poo on it. I don't want to say it's crap. I can see the appeal. I'm not saying it's a bad anime. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
Saying that though, the first episode I loved. I love the concept. Beyond Journey's End. You start off at the end of a big arc.
Yeah.
Getting introduced to these characters, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. But I would say, yeah.
Wasn't your cup of tea?
Nah.
That's okay. I really enjoyed this. And I think it is, but I do think that you're onto something. I think this is a different type of anime, and it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Because it is very character-led, very reflective. There's a kind of a brief summary about what it's about. You pick up the story with a mage, Frieren, who is part of a big adventuring party, kind of D&D style. They've just saved the world, and she is immortal, and the rest of her party aren't. So you find her at the end of their story and the beginning of her story alone, and that's where the kind of her journey starts. So that's the Beyond the Journey's End. She's had this journey with her party, and now she's moving beyond it. And I personally thought that was a really interesting place to start a story, because I don't think I'd ever seen anything quite like that before in anime. Usually, you watch the big boss fight and the party come together for the first time and all that stuff. So seeing the party split apart as the first episode was, I thought, just really clever, really, really different. But I can also see why, because it is that different, like it is a different type of story, it might not sustain for some people. Yeah. But kind of beautiful. Before we get too deep into it, should we talk about this week's snacks, which have been kindly selected? So out of our snack box, Kris and I both bought the same snack box. I've had to put in my cupboard so that I don't eat it. I need it to be out of sight, because some of them look quite good. And this week, your lovelier half, Molly, has picked out our snacks for us. So what did Molly pick?
So this week, I couldn't tell you the names. I tried to do a Google Lens Translate, but I don't know what's the name. It could be called This is Delicious, or it may contain salt. I don't know. But these are little hula hoop things with a hand logo is the first one. And
that you did manage to translate this bit here, which was, for those of you who are listening on Spotify later, It's a blue packet with like a hand with face on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some writing on the front of the packet as well as a picture of the actual food. And you had managed to translate that to mean simple and delicious.
Yeah, yeah. We could call them simple and delicious.
We could call them simple and delicious, or we could call them hand face. Thoughts?
Hand face crisps.
Hand face crisps. Should we start with those? Or do we talk about the other one now, or do we talk about that when we get to that snack later?
We'll leave it because I think there's some prep involved in the next one.
Oh my god. But the fact that there's prep, I just want to be decadent and
I just want it in me gob.
I just want it in my gob. So much that.
Oh,
That is my philosophy. Oh, what are you thinking?
they kind of taste like plain
Oh, they are.
hula hoops.
They are hula hoopy.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but teeny tiny. They're like doll hula hoops.
See,
I feel like a giant. Everything is small, and I am enormous.
anything that makes us feel big is okay in my books.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if I feel big on the outside, I'll start to feel big on the inside. Wait, hang on. Okay. I'm already mentally like thinking of, oh, what will the comments say for that?
It's fine. It's fine.
Be fine. Moving on.
Yeah.
So, Frieren. So we pick up with a mage at the beginning of her journey. So, Kris, how did the three episode rule work for you this week? And I'm feeling quite smug because I only watched 3 episodes.
Right. So, yeah, I got to episode 5. Right.
Yeah.
But, this anime couldn't keep us interested. Normally the other ones that I've seen, even the original Trigun, the Delicious Art Dungeon, I've been watching them in English dub because I've been doing other things, but I've been paying attention.
Yeah.
This one, I found myself doing other things on the computer while it's playing in the background, and then I zoned out, and then when I came to, I looked and I was up to episode 5.
Yeah.
I know roughly what's happened.
I think that's interesting because I had the opposite experience.
Right.
Where I had it playing on dub and was doing things and kept getting like distracted and drawn into the story of it.
Right.
So like I was like, oh, I maybe I'll just, and then would just end up like kind of zoning into the story. So I think that's interesting that we both had the opposite experience with this one. What didn't you like about it? And I'll tell you what I did like about it.
So there's a couple of things. One of the things was Frieren herself, who's the little, she's like an elf mage. I don't think she had a redeeming quality about her. From the, I don't think she was like a bad character necessarily. I just think personality wise, she'd spent 10 years with was it 4 other adventurers?
Yeah.
And you get
3?
the impression that she barely knows the name after 10 years. And it's just like, throughout the 3 episodes that I've seen, it has flashbacks to when they actually had good times, when they're at the pub or they're going through something. And she's always there like a Debbie Downer in the corner and being like, oh, is that a sunrise? It's just a sun, isn't it? While they're like, oh, it's beautiful, this scenery. She's like, well, I've seen better, mate.
You like a golden retriever character as well, because I'm thinking this character is the opposite of Vash the Stampede, which I remember you saying last week. You love Vash the Stampede because of his goofy, free-spiritedness.
I mean, I've been more enthusiastic about going to the dentist.
Yeah. Damning.
And another thing that I couldn't get is I thought as I mentioned before, the flashbacks to when they were adventuring in that 10-year period to defeat the Demon King, they felt like the wrong way around. I was more interested in the flashbacks because I had personalities like Eisen the Dwarf, Hater, the alcoholic priest, Himmel, the legendary hero who's a prima donna, who didn't really deserve the praise.
I kind of loved Himmel.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Himmel was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought it was quite... Anyway, carry on. Crack on. Tell me what you're thinking. I'll wait.
Oh, you said that just as I put some mini hula hoops in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, that's partly why I was like, you go first, because I've also put mini hula hoops in my mouth.
And the weird, like, no consideration for anyone besides Frieren. So in the story, Frieren meets an older agent on death's door, Hater, and she ends up having to take on an apprentice called Fern.
Yeah.
And they go. Eventually, stuff happens, and she takes her along, and they spend. They come across a statue of Himmel, who is the old party member. They knew each other, and this old woman was like, "Oh yeah, he saved the village. Can you clean this up? I want to put some flowers on around it." And she was like, "I'll do that, no problem." I'll put some flowers from his hometown called the Blue. It's a blue flower. I can't really remember the name. And she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen them around here for years. I don't know where they are." They spend 6 months looking for some little flowers, and I think this Fern, she isn't a nearly immortal elf. She ages normally. What a waste of 6 months of her life to look for some flowers for someone she doesn't even know.
Hard disagree.
Right? Why?
Well, you're right. It is a waste of time for Fern. To be fair. I was talking about this with a friend and trying to form some thoughts about it. And the way I described it to them is that normally what you see is a hero trying to save the world. And what this, I think, offers you that's like flips that on its head is that the world is saving Frieren. So it's about her like reconnecting with like mortals again. And I think there's something in so like the way that she and I think you're right, she's a hard character to connect with because she at this point in her journey has distanced herself from mortals because she's losing all her friends, right? And she's that immortal character who has to live on beyond other people. And there's something about her in taking the apprentice character. She not only like has to kind of stay in this kind of mortal headspace, but she also revisits her past relationships, and that's where you get the flashbacks and things. And I really liked this exploration of actually. So I thought this anime was I thought it was sad. The first 3 episodes they're not joyful. They're not like exciting. There's a sadness to them, and I didn't mind that. I quite liked it. I think it would take a certain headspace to watch it all. But I also suspect that after that, it will, with time, that sadness will lift. I just have a feeling it will, or at least I hope it will. And I think with the flashbacks, you kind of get these moments where you see like sparks of her like humanity that she's kind of almost losing because of her immortality and because of the fact that she lives so much longer than everyone else. And I really like that character exploration. It is a lot slower as well, though, I think, because it's this kind of... Because you're almost on her timescale. Like, she's not in a rush. She's got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that is a tension that we'll probably see be explored with Fern and Frieren, is the fact that Fern doesn't have all the time in the world. To learn things, she's going to need things to be more accelerated. whereas Frieren has, she has millennia.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of fascinating. It's the Tolkien's elves, who are left in the it's what's her face who falls in love with Aragorn.
Arwen.
Arwen. Yeah, it's the Arwen. It's the sad truth of Arwen. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I really liked it, and I also really liked the flashbacks. I thought those were fun and a way to alleviate some of that sadness. Because I think if it was sad loneliness, everyone's dying all the time, that would be quite hard. But I thought they actually balanced it very well by having those quite comical flashbacks, and I thought they timed them quite well. So you'd have her say something very serious, and then you flash back, and you're like, what's caused her to say the serious thing is actually really silly. So I kind of loved the way that the pacing of the story. I thought it was very thoughtfully written, and I liked it for those reasons, I think.
So,
and I like a slower anime. It's like, I like this gives me Mushishi vibes.
Yeah.
Which I also like because it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit like there's a kind of coziness to it.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that, and I get why people. I didn't mind. What's it,
Mushishi?
Yeah, because I have watched a couple episodes of that on your recommendation in the past. I did like it. It was a very chilled, relaxed anime that you could just really.
It's like the ASMR of anime is how I've often described it, which
amazing
is nice.
Odd.
Yeah,
but I think that was still faster paced than this. It's interesting to hear your take on it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just, the reason why it wasn't for me was because I think I took it a different way. I took it as in Frieren is basically been adventuring with these people over 10 years. If she, when Himmel dies in the first episode as an old man, that's only when she considers other people, and then she thinks, oh crap, not everyone is immortal, and maybe some people, I should have explored these relationships more. And maybe's opened up, and then she takes Fern on a 6-month jaunt for blue flowers and does nothing.
No, but she doesn't, because in that time she will, like, Fern will be learning. I think I'm like the journey is part of the lesson.
She's not, because Fern is just like, this is taking a bit of time, this.
I think she's learning, and also I think there's something important in. I loved the blue flowers thing. I loved that she spent 6 months looking for it. I think it places like a kind of an importance and like an integrity to her promise.
So, okay, I keep using the blue flower. I keep using the blue flower situation. I'll use another one, right? So.
As long as it's from the first 3 episodes, because I obeyed the rules this week.
It is. It's from the very first episode.
Okay, nice.
Or maybe it's the second. I'm not sure. Basically, while adventuring, Frieren acquires a demon's horn or some sort of evil artifact which emanates this like aura.
Ominous aura.
Yeah, it's like black stink lines in the anime.
Well, classic. We always know something's evil. Black stink lines.
Black or purple, yeah.
Like a miasma.
Yeah, and then Himmel is just like, as a good mate, said, "Oh, I thought that was a gift from a friend to keep safe. So for all these years, 50 years, he's kept this in his cupboard. It's making his house stink. It's turning his like the rats around the area evil. It's doing all sorts of bad stuff. He's just been like, it's me friend, it's Frieren, it's her things. I'm gonna keep it safe for her." She comes back and she's like, "Oh, you got that bit of devil's horn, by the way?" And he's like, "Yes, I've been waiting for the day for you to come and claim this again. You're a treasured friend." And she was like, "It's just an ingredient, mate. You could have chucked it out if you wanted." It's like, nah.
But I think that's funny. I think that's funny because it's like she's not asked him to keep it. There's something to. I don't know, maybe I thought that was quite amusing because there's like a, and I think again that's part of the perspective of something. So when you live a really long time, a rare ingredient might not feel that rare because you have the time to hunt them down. Whereas if you're like if you're short-lived, something like that feels important. So when someone asks you to hold on to something like that, it might feel more important. I thought it was like highlighting the that difference
Oh,
between the two of them.
so
So
you
third
saw it.
example.
So you've used it as the opposite because I saw it as an example how Frieren doesn't give a shit about anyone. It's just like, oh, you thought this was a rare thing. I've just used it to make hot tea. It's all right. I could have used
So I don't think
whatever.
I don't think it's a sign that she doesn't care, and I think that's partly why I like the blue flowers, because I think the blue flowers proves that she cares, because it's really the only time you see her like offer some kind of external emotion. She's quite stoic for a lot of the show. Whereas the rest of the time I don't think it's that she doesn't care. I think it's that she doesn't understand the experience of what it's like to not live for a really long time. So she doesn't understand, like, when she's asking things of people, what weight those carry. And I think part of that that apprenticeship relationship is is tied up in that.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying why I didn't. Yeah, why I saw it different, but it's just interesting that you come at it from the opposite perspective to me and liked it.
I think that is interesting that we've both seen the same thing and taken something very different from it. And if nothing else, I think it shows that this is an anime that there is more to it than what's on the surface.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's it, because it's like it is open to interpretation. They don't over explain anything. They don't over explain the lore either, and you're drip fed the kind of broader story. And that allows you as the watcher to make up a bit of a story, and the story you make up might be really positive, like mine. And it might be like, that Frieren needs to wind her neck in.
I feel
Get on with some stuff.
Yeah, come on, get stuff done.
Yeah, I kind of love that we've both taken something different from it. So do you have we talked about Himmel as like one of the characters who's very like likable in this. Did you have a favorite character? And can I guess, was it the dwarf?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't.
But I do have a favorite character, and it was Haita, the alcoholic priest.
Alcoholic priest who's got a child in his home.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Why did you like him? Yeah.
I just thought he was an interesting character because he's a priest or a cleric, would you say? But anyway, he's a clergyman.
They use the word priest, don't they? But clergyman, I think, is the vibe.
I just thought he was the funniest because he's an alcoholic. They talk about him not being able to fight some of the days because they're like, oh yeah, I was really ill, like succumbed to illness, and he's like, no, you're just hungover, mate.
We've all been there, mate.
Yeah. I think all the other party members get Frieren. They get that she doesn't get them. And they're all mates because like you find out later that Haita and Eisen regularly keep contact with letters.
Yeah.
And so everyone's updated. Himmel dies, so they don't really talk to him anymore, but
would be weird if they did. Different anime.
Well, wait till the 4th episode.
Oh!
No, I'm joking. But yeah, I just thought he was the most interesting.
Yeah.
How about you?
I did really like Himmel. I thought it was funny. I love a there's a bit where there's like a child like flips her skirt up and he's like, don't do that, and for a minute you think he's going to say something noble, but he just says, I've been trying to do that for months. And there's something about I find it very funny when a hero is like mistaken for being noble and are actually just kind of really human and fallible and a
Yeah.
bit silly and shit.
Is that
I
when
thought that was great.
when he saves that village and they make a statue out of him, and like Frieren's remembering what actually happened, and they were like, oh yeah, they had that sculptor there for about 12 hours trying different poses, and he ended for like the NPC normal stance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. So I liked that. I also really thought Fern was interesting. I was curious about what was her deal. Um
Little baby oven fern.
Little baby oven Fern.
Orphan.
Orphan.
Yeah.
Orphan. I was like, are you going to put the baby in? Are you going to put Fern in an oven? Because
No,
I
I've been
misheard
warned
it.
against stuff like that again.
You're all right there. You alcoholic priest. Just give her a coat if she's cold. We don't have coats up north. It's only soft southerners. Yeah, I kind of liked Fern. I wanted to see what Fern's deal was. I wanted to see how she how she eventually hopefully touches what's her face? Frieren. I want to see the not like creepy way. Emotionally.
because I've watched halfway through episode 5, you can see that bond develop more as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I love a like a lost person and a mentor vibe. It's like,
right.
you know, the Naruto and the Kakashi characters, and the what's his face, the Toad Hermit.
Yes, perfect.
You know, it's
Pervy Sage.
that's the one.
Can't remember his proper name.
But I love seeing a mentor do their thing and seeing that bond. And you know when the pupil teaches the teacher.
Yeah, that old trope.
That old trope. I kind of was hoping for that. Were there any things that you I'm guessing you're not going to be watching past episode. Well, you've already watched past episode 3.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be watching past episode 5, I'm guessing. I feel like you've probably done your time with it.
No, because like I was talking to you before about this. To get the pictures for this, get like I've got to look up Google like pictures and wallpapers, and people normally make wallpapers from stuff they like about the anime. They're not going to put a bad character or a bad moment. So I've been looking at a couple of the scenes, and it looks like there's a couple more demons in it, loads more characters and a bit more action. So I don't know. I might actually continue it on, but and give it the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think I'll put it in the top me priority list. Like, if it comes up, I'll be like, yeah, I'll give this a go. I'll put it on in the background while I'm doing some work or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, and so that's what you're hoping for. You want a bit more action, a bit more demons.
Kind of a bit more in-depth characters, a bit more personality from them as well. Because it's like the loner. I know I quite like the trope of cracking through to the loner person, which Frieren is, with a little lost orphan girl made me feel love again. You know, something like that.
I love that.
I like stuff like that, but at a faster pace. Please.
Oh no!
It just seems like it drip feeds you. There's not like a thing
that's
where
what I
it's
like about it. Yeah.
Nah.
I like that it forces you to slow down, and I think that's why I found myself being quite drawn into it. I keep looking off camera because that's where the TV is now, where I have the anime up. And yeah, so my hope was for more information about Fern and her whole deal. And you're waggling your eyebrows like you know something in episode 4 and 5 that I don't know. And I also am hoping for more flashbacks. I want to know more about the party, and I like I like getting it only like in little bits.
Right.
That's kind of fun to me. I would like to see Frieren struggle. So that my one criticism would be she's super OP.
Yeah.
Like I
Hmm.
need to see her hit a challenge that actually scares her. I think I want to see her like pushed to her limit.
Mm.
So I'd be curious about what it would like. How dangerous do things have to get in order for Frieren to break a sweat? Because
Hmm.
most of the time she's cool as a cucumber, and I'm okay with her being cool as a cucumber. But at some point, I want to see her like like her metal tested.
Episodes. I think it's 5 or 6. You do.
You just said I only watched episode 5, maybe 6, but I didn't really like it.
Whatevs. Whatevs. I
Right.
wanted to give it a proper chance.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's fair.
I am taking the mick a little bit where I'm saying it is slow paced, but I didn't
It is
dislike
slower.
it.
Yeah, it is a slow anime. I would say it is a slower anime, and that is a fair like. And you might like that. You might actually just want something a bit more like bam, 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 bam. But I think this is a perfect like Saturday afternoon. This actually, do you know what this like? Talking of the alcoholic priest,
Hmm.
this anime is a perfect hangover anime. Like if you have been out and you are feeling like you need something, like not like it's not going to be overly too much on the senses because you're a bit fragile and tender. And you need someone to hold you and maybe feed you a burger.
Oh, oh, cheeseburger. Yep.
Or the second snack that we have from Molly.
Ooh, yeah.
You like my segue?
Yeah.
No, but I would say that this is a good hangover anime. I think this like I will be watching this when I'm like, I just want to stay in bed just a little bit longer.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
I also never have a chance to stay in bed a little bit longer because I have a child.
because you have a child. Yeah. Whereas I can get up, take my fur child into the garden, make it wee, and then go back to bed with it.
What Phoebe means by fur child is she's took the hair out of a brush and just formed it into a weird baby thing.
And
We've had talks about.
googly eyes on it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how human things become when you put a googly eye on it.
Yeah.
You only really need one, but if you've got two, so our second snack are these that Molly's picked out, and actually I think we need to share the logic that Molly. So when she picked this out and she was telling us which one she picked and why, she said this one because it's got potions and you can make different flavor combinations. So it's like I don't know what they look like inside, but apparently what you can do is like make different fruit flavors depending on how much of stuff you have. So I'm opening it and we're gonna
I've opened it.
find
I'll
out.
show it to the screen. It's got for people just listening. It's got a ginger wizard on it with a couple of balls around her.
But also I feel like are highly appropriate to have some sort of mage wizard snack when we're talking about Frieren Brew on Journey's End. So Molly, well done. Perfect snack choice.
It is a gum.
Oh, it's a gum.
Yeah, so I think you're like.
Oh, and they're like different like you can. It's got like it's a gum with lines for proportions. What flavors are we gonna make? This is suddenly quite exciting. I love it. Do you know I love a snack with an activity? A snack activity.
Oh really?
Japan is good for a snack activity.
Yeah.
I mean, I also do like to just shove stuff in my mouth. To be fair.
We're talking about food.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey.
Ayo.
Yeah, because they have like kits where you make slimy things and then make them not slimy and.
Oh, the poppin' candy stuff.
Yeah.
We should. Is it pop? What are they called? Is it poppin' candy?
Something like that. I don't know what they're called because it's in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah, me neither. But I could try. I'm taking a green and a blue, and I'm gonna have them together.
Oh, I'm taking one of each and just shoving them in. Oh, sharp. Immediate saliva reaction.
And then it mellows quite quickly. It's nice. Oh,
Good gum.
thumbs up. Yeah, I think it's good gum. Good gum, good tiny hula hoops. So far, I've liked all the snacks that we've had.
Molly's done good.
Molly's done good this week. And thank you for the snacktivity. That was much appreciated. What's it like with all of them? All 4 flavours?
It's just a claggy mess. But it's alright. It's not unpleasant.
Should have followed the potion recipe.
I know. There's the combinations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For the people listening later, because Paul's given us very specific instructions to remember that not everyone will be watching us. Some people might be listening to us. You have a peach, grape, apple, and soda flavour. And then you can mix those together to make orange.
Soda flavour?
Yeah.
Oh, like the pop. Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
A cherry flavour. What looks to be grapefruit. And plum, I think.
Silly
Cool.
old plum.
Oh, he's a plum, isn't he?
It's the most southern thing I've heard you say.
Really?
I think so.
Have you been to Waitrose lately? Who was it I was talking to today? He was like, oh, because I was saying I'm coming up to Sunderland in the summer, and he was like, oh, you can go to a Booths. Because we don't get booths down here. Do you still have booths?
Booths? I don't think so.
They're like a supermarket. No.
I don't think the let Poors in, so I don't know.
Fair. Perfectly reasonable. Next question.
Next question.
Next question. So yeah, we've kind of done a little bit of high moments already.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I loved the blue flowers. That was a low point for you. What was a high point? What kind of moments do you think, oh, maybe this has got something?
First episode. So basically the breakup, this party of adventurers after they defeated the Demon King. And it shows you them being like, they end up at this village where there's a what is it? It's like a shooting stars, like a thing. Anyway, the night sky's filled with shooting stars. It's all really nice and good scenery. And then Frieren's just like, oh well, this is a bit crap. This I'll take in 50 years, and the next one, I'll take you to an even better place. And obviously, there's 2 humans and a dwarf. The dwarfs will live for a long time. The humans are like 50 years. I'm like 20. All right then. So they come back. She forces these 70-year-old men to go on a week's trek to a mountain.
Yeah, I love that.
to watch this these shooting stars.
What are they called?
Asteroid fallen.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Magical sky display. Nah.
Skylights.
Look at them candles in the sky. What are they called? Stars.
Oh, stars. I've seen better stars when you come to a mountain with this. But as they were watching the display thing on the side of a mountain, I was like, oh, this is really different. I could get into this. But for that episode, oh no, chewing gum everywhere.
No.
That episode, it was different. There was development and an original idea. I really liked it. So from episode 1, I was like, get in. This is a good choice. I'm going to watch the rest of it. And then it was just like, it starts off running and then just stops. Pace-wise, anyway. Sorry, this is stuff that you like about it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But I think that's okay. I think you can not everything's for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a kind of story that takes its time to set in. Yeah, and I think that some of the I also really, really liked the first episode. I was like, this is different and interesting. And I do think that this is an anime that will I think so, because I think it seems to be so well made.
Right.
And I do think the writing is good. I suspect there's payoff. And I think I will be watching past episode 3 to see the payoff. And if not, I think I'll have a lovely background noise for while I'm doing like miniature painting for D&D sets and stuff.
So, question for you, right?
Uh-huh.
Are you watching because you think there's going to be a good payoff?
No, I'm watching because
No.
I'm quite enjoying the character exploration.
Right.
But I suspect there will be good payoff as well.
Right.
I'm not like waiting for the payoff. I'm enjoying the journey, and I think maybe there's the maybe that's part of the lesson. But also, anime shouldn't have a well. It can have a lesson, but I think there is something about it's about. I think it is. It's a journey, isn't it?
Journey's end.
Yeah. And I thought one of the highlights for me was like by the end of the first episode, you're like, oh my god, this is almost quite bleak. Like, how can you make a story out of this? And then you kind of jump into like a new bit, and you're like, oh, apprentice. Okay, that's an interesting turn. Yeah. So I quite liked when you first see Fern and how the alcoholic priest tricks her into taking on an apprentice.
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing about that character. I forget his name.
Hater.
Hater.
That's why he's my favourite character. I thought he was.
No.
He is just he's the one looking at the sky there, probably thinking about drink. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I thought he was my favourite character in this. He had a bit more presence about him, and towards the end, because in the second episode he snuffs it, or the third maybe. Anyway, there's a lot of.
It's either the end of the second or the beginning of the third. They all snuff it.
He gets more character arc and growth and learning and more about him than Frieren does in the 5 episodes that I see her in. Or maybe it's more. I can't remember now.
Yeah, but then I don't know if that I would agree, because I think that whole blue flower thing, I think is her character growth, is her
that bloody blue flower, man.
Yeah. The fleetingness of mortal life and how it allows you to appreciate the small things.
You describing it like that makes us not like it more.
Fair. I think this anime, there's part of this anime that really appeals to like the very which is hard to believe when I'm in a strawberry jumper, what I'm about to say, and I will acknowledge that up front. It appeals to like the gothy child in me who just wants to like have like a little broody moment.
Just watch Berserk.
Berserk is but this does it without the emotional damage. And I don't always want emotional damage, whereas I often want a sad hug.
You can't have your cake and eat it.
Yes, I can, because I can watch Frieren Beyond Journey's End.
Fine.
And even though I'm in a strawberry jumper, I'm an adult. So I do what I want.
I'm just waiting.
You're wearing one of my favourite Nerdy Up North jump t-shirts.
The one that Paul hates, because he hates Lord of the Rings.
Does he hate Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
He'd hate this as well, then.
He would. I'd be there with him as well. No, I don't hate it.
You don't hate it, but
no.
You just didn't enjoy it as much as you thought you would after watching the first episode.
I just think there's a lot better things to watch out there. For me, personally.
That's fair. I think I'll be watching it until the end. I think it's mint. I think it was good. And I think it's well made as well.
Yeah, the animation is great as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's like beautiful. The scenery in it is amazing. And I like shows where you can like do a freeze whatever you're watching, and that could be a poster. And there are so many moments in this where you go, I could pause this and make that a poster, and it would look really cool. Which I loved. So that being said, different opinions, love that, because that means we're stepping outside our comfort zones.
Yeah, definitely.
Of stuff we wanted to watch, so that's awesome. What would you like to watch next week?
I'm not
So
sure.
we've had some. I've enjoyed doing a recommendation from someone, and I think we should probably stick with that. And we did have chewing gum while doing a podcast is not the one. I've just realised. Yeah, and I've just added more gum into my mouth, so it's made it harder.
I've got them all in.
Like all of it. That's so much gum. Oh no, please pop all over your mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
So what's happened is Chris has blown a very impressive bubble, to be fair, and then made the mistake of touching it with his hands, and it's now just stuck to his hands.
Oh, no.
What? Okay, so I think the mini hula hoops were a success. The gum we might have to rethink.
I can't be trusted with gum in a carpeted room.
Oh no, not in the carpet.
I'll put it in the bin.
Don't be getting gum on Molly's carpets. Next episode. So we've got some recommendations.
Yeah.
There's Dora Hidero.
Yeah.
Which has been recommended by a couple of people actually now, I think.
Yeah.
So we could give that a go.
Have you seen it?
No.
Right. I have. I've seen the first season. Second season's due out this year at some point.
Okay, well now's a good time to watch it then, maybe.
Yeah, I really I enjoyed it. We'll see what you think.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, tell us why next week. So
Hey.
this brings an anime club to a close. I was going to try and remember the number, but I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, we're ending this anime club. If you liked us and you like listening to us disagree about a Frieren, give us a like, give us a comment. If you've watched this and you agree more with Kris or more with me, tell us what you thought down below, where we land. And let's just remember that not all anime is for everyone, and that's okay. Like, we don't need to get into arguments or anything in the comments. We can all just respectfully express our opinion. Also, give us a subscribe. There are lots of other very cool stuff that happens on Nerdy Up North. We've got the Sunday pod. We've got Kris over on that side. Kris over on Top Gramps with the Divinely. And we've got the beautiful Ladies of Wonk, and also Monster Mondays, which I've been enjoying recently. And they've done a particular episode that I really, really enjoyed, which was Cursed Films, Poltergeist. So that was really good fun. And if you're passionate about nerdy stuff and want to get involved, come and join us in the Discord. There is a link below. Or check out the website, www.nerdyupnorth.co.uk. And there's lots of cool writing on there. We've got poetry, we've got stories, we've got articles about stuff, we've got film reviews. There's some music stuff as well on there. And also over on the Twitch, we've got gaming. Come join us, come hang out, enjoy.
Just bye.